think this stardom is done gone to your head, bruh. You're in my car. Where you going? Where you going? That's all I need to know. Where you going? And where you get my keys from. Shut the cock out. Folks was having John Lee Long, and I'm not in a Hobo Depot. That is some craziness right there. I come, and this boy got the car. He got the car on. Oh my God. He got the car with the top down, y'all. Okay, well, today we're going to talk about. I'm sorry. That is just funny to me. Today we're going to talk about the difference between the controls on a jazz bass and the controls on a P bass. All right. First of all, let's look at this. Let's look at the P bass. Looking at the P bass, there are two controls. There's a volume, and then there's a tone control, and then there's two pickups. Whereas actually one, they're considered one, a pair. All right. So we look at it and we go, so if this only have one pickup in it, and it doesn't have a detent, so it just go bass and treble. Is that what it is? Bass and treble? Huh. No. The greatest thing about a P bass is it goes bass and treble like you think, and then it goes. I'm sorry, I just keep laughing, man, because this boy hit my car. Anyway, it goes bass and treble, and then you have tones in between. Will you be able to hear those tones? That's the question. You go, well, will I be able to hear them? You're like, yeah, you can if you're in the studio or if you have headphones on. Coming out like right here, a lot of people are looking and go like, yeah, I can hear it, but I can't hear the difference. So let's try this. See, now we're at all bass. Is there anything between that? Of course, the more you turn from bass, you can hear it clearing up. Now, in between all of that, you can tell that there's some more stuff happening in between it. Now, the greatest thing about, let me move this out of the way, about P basses is the way they made, the characteristics of them, the whole functioning of a P bass, the way it feels, the tone of it, the whole characteristics of just one set of pickups in a particular setting, right? So a lot of people are like, I just play a P because, it doesn't, I ain't got to go through all these button changes, and I ain't got to go through all this tone changes. But, I admire people that plays P basses. I really do, because they have a unique ear. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean unique? I mean, it's just a P bass. Yeah, but see, you got one set of pickups doing something that, it's one set of pickups giving you something that you're not familiar with. All right, there's treble, there's bass, there's an in between, but do you know in between there's no gray areas? You still can get tone from straight bottom to direct highs. You still can get tone for that. And so the best way to do that is to take your P bass, in your room, put a set of headphones on through your amp, and then go through your P, because it's not just bass, baby, and it's not just treble. All right, so let me explain to you what I'm coming to today. All right, so this is my Mark bass, Randy Jackson 500, and this is my New Yorker 151. All right, so I try to get something that is familiar to old school. All right, this lesson today is for people of just beginning. You know, if you're just beginning, this is a good lesson for you. A lot of people don't like 15s. I love 15. I didn't like them. I didn't like them once I started hearing 10s and 12s. My whole attitude changed at that particular time. But now that I have 15, I basically use a 15 and 12s. 12s is like in the middle of 10s and 15s. It's got good punch. It gives you good bottom, and it can give you the clarity of mids if you ask for it. So that's what you get when you get a 12. And a 15 is just give you good bottom, and if you take the horn out, it will actually give you good mids and actually a good taste of highs. Not a great taste of highs, but a good taste of highs. And that's what you're looking for, a good taste of highs. So at this particular time right here, what we're looking at is the Randy Jackson version, and it actually does everything I wanted to do. It's a tube head for one thing. That's what I like it. All right, so let's get back to the P. All right, so if we start putting tones into the P, I'm just turning like hairline fractures. Okay, and you can hear the difference. So the best thing about a P is to actually put it in a set of headphones and then work with it from that point on. You know, and from my standpoint of view is that you will actually learn tones that you don't really hear all the time, and some people like going through different tones and finding their tone. Just because the bass has two knobs doesn't mean that you can't find your complete tone. Your complete tone could be into this bass right here. It don't have to be a jazz like that one. So we're gonna pull this one out because the jazz is completely different than the P. Okay. A new monster. What's the difference between this bass and that bass? A lot of difference. First of all, you're looking at two pickups. You're looking at three knobs. Now I had a subscriber ask me about the knobs. I want to explain the knob to you the best way I can. On the front knob that you see me put my finger on right now, that's to that pickup right there. To this second knob is to the pickup underneath this cover. These are called covers. You're like, okay, I got the covers. They're covering something. Yeah, and why are they there? Well, my opinion is to, make it look better. A lot of people say you can get different sounds when you put these kind of covers over it, that you get two different sounds. And I'm thinking, I don't know. But it came on this bass, and I put it back on. And there, Marcus Miller keeps this one on. I keep both mine on, and it gives me good position there. I can go from the front to the back. Front. I can do rear. And same position, never touching the knob. Go right back to the front position and do the same thing. Okay, and it's two different sounds. So anyway, so let's talk about what is the difference between the P bass and the jazz bass as far as that tone control. Well, you're looking at a bass that has two pickups, and whether you use them individually or not, that tone control does the same thing it does for the P. The difference is you're getting a more focused kind of tone with this jazz bass. Here's the rear. Okay, here's the front. You hear two different tones, all right? if you was on that P bass, you would hear this tone right here. Now, if I turn it all the way to bass, it should sound close to this P. Watch. Watch how I dial it now. Now the same tone that I got on that P, when I had that P up here, gave me the same tone that I got on this jazz. Same tones, man. Except the P was a little bit thicker sounding to me. Now because I have the rear pickup, I can do amazing other things through my tone. I can take it all the way to bass and it gives me this sound. Hairline. Hairline. You hear changing? Hairline. 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 Hear changing? That's it. Where a lot of people don't understand is about the jazz and the P bass is that they're brothers and sisters. Can one do more than the other? That's a good question. That's a great question. Can one bass do more than the other? Well, here's the thing. I don't think one bass can do more than the other. I think it's a preference thing. They're both different, but they both are made to do bass. Like this may have a wider neck than that have a wider neck. The cosmetics of the bass doesn't make the bass different. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? The cosmetics, what I mean by cosmetics, color don't make it play no different. Now, the tuning keys don't make it play no different. What about the bridge? Well, a lot of people take the bridge and they change it. Like this one has a kick butt bridge. I'm gonna say kick butt. I don't want to say the other word. It has a kick butt bridge or a hip shot bridge, and so it sustains a little bit more. On my 78, it has all natural stuff. When I say natural, it means everything that came on it, except for the color the pickup covers, is basically what came on that bass. Now, does it sound different than another jazz standing beside it with a hip shot bridge on it? You won't hear much of a difference. You may hear a little bit more sustain if I ask for it. Sustain would be a characteristic. I said. Oh yeah, you sit there and look, bro. You sit right there and look. Now, the better bridge will give you a better sustain. Maybe clean up your notes a little bit more. But basically, if I pick up either one of these basses and I want both on this, if I want that jazz to sound like that P, I can do that. Can I make that P sound like that jazz? It would be close, but you have to remember there's another set of pickups down at the bottom of that jazz to take your tones to another area. So once again, guys, I hope this helped you, because I had some subscribers call. They didn't really call, they kind of emailed me and said, hey man, could you go through the controls of the P bass and the jazz bass and tell us kind of what's the difference? Well, once again, the jazz bass has a smaller body. The P bass has a wider body, so it gives you more thickness on your bottom. The pickups that you put in it, like these, has 1970 DiMaggio, so it sounds a little different than any other P that came in it. This is a 2012, I think it is. 2012? Right. It's a 2012. And that's a unique color. It's called Antiqua. Very unique bass. So then you have your jazz bass over here, which is a 78, and it's black, but it's turning blue because of doing the 78 colors. Black has a tendency to turn blue. Does it bother me? Absolutely not. Look, it plays better to me. And of course, you got block inlays and stuff like that. Not saying that you can't put block inlays on a P and it will look just as pretty as that. But, we need to look at not the cosmetics of the bass, but we need to look at what we're looking for. What is your ear looking for? I would try both the jazz bass and the P bass. Of course, the difference to me in a jazz and the P, the biggest difference to me is the neck size. And then when you get into the tone, you got an extra pickup on the jazz. So I hope this helped you guys out a lot. I want to apologize for the superstarness. Look, I said superstarness. For the superstarness that was happening when I was around the front talking to folks. When you get to that certain point in time, you try things. Look, I'm still laughing, man, because it's funny to me. He had my car running. Folks. Where you going? Where you going, man? With your kid Smith. I want to thank you guys for coming out my YouTube. And enjoying this day with us. It's like almost 80 degrees out here today in Richmond, Virginia. It's still just fall, spring, what you want to call it, spring. And I want to tell you guys, if you're in the house, get out. All right? Stop looking at the walls. Get out. Some of you work at home. Leave out of the office, walk around the house. Just walk out in your yard. You got a big, beautiful yard. Whether you got a big yard or small yard, get out, walk around your yard. You pay for it every day. Walk around your yard. It's better for you to get out and stop seeing walls, start seeing trees and birds and butterflies, ants, and bumblebees, and mosquitoes. You need to see those things. You know what I'm saying? Can't see them inside the house. And then you don't want to get that attitude of staying in the house all the time. Okay. Once again, guys, thank you. Keep praying for my family, praying for my home, praying for the Hobo Depot. Most of all, praying for each other. We need each other, y'all. One note: we need each other more right now, more than anything. There's a lot of things happening in the world, and the only people I feel that can help the world out is us. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there doing a lot of great things, but one note can make a difference. I think when you ever get the concept of what I'm saying, you'll be like, okay, I get it. One note. That's all we need. Just us. Bass players can turn this world around. I mean, in one day. All right. So I love you guys with all my heart. Please keep praying for us. That we keep praying for you. Please pray for Hootie, because when his camera goes off, we need to talk. Yada caca. Peace out.